Welcome to Platt365 and Merry Christmas. We just wanted to bring you a special gift, the recipe of the cinnamon rolls that Lisa made for our Thanksgiving video. We had so much response from that video about those cinnamon rolls, we thought it'd be only right to let you see how exactly to make those. So, here it is.
The first thing is to scald your milk. And you do that over beginning with a low, and you can increase it to a medium heat. You do not boil your milk. You boil it, you ruin it, you have to start over again.
So what are you looking for in scald?
You scald it until a thin skin forms.
Okay. Oh, and I remember this part, you like blow on it.
Yep.
And you don't put it on high, right?
No, I started it about medium.
So as she's blowing on it, you can see the ripples. I see it. It's like not rippling as much right there, right? That's what scalding looks like?
You scald it until a thin skin forms.
The skin is what you're looking for.
Yes. Now you just let it cool.
Okay.
Because I will be eventually adding it into the dough, and if it is too hot, it will kill the yeast. And then your cinnamon rolls won't rise. Half cup sugar.
Half cup of sugar. Good morning, Nicole.
Do you have a good sleep? Good.
All right, Lisa, are you making the dough right now? Is that what's going on?
Yes, I'm doing the base for the dough.
Okay, and you got what? Sugar?
Yep, 2 teaspoons of salt.
Okay.
Half cup Crisco.
Crisco.
Yep.
Now you take, what is that, a half a cup of water?
Half a cup of warm water, just over body temperature.
And you add the yeast, and you want to make sure it's not too hot, right, Lace? Otherwise, what happens?
You kill the yeast.
Kill the yeast. You don't want to kill the yeast. What if it's too cold? It doesn't
It won't activate the yeast.
So there's that. And we've had problems in the past of making cinnamon rolls that don't rise. So this is actually one of the most important parts of the whole thing, right?
Yes.
It's making sure this rises. So, cool. So how long do you mix it up for how long?
You just let it dissolve.
You let it dissolve? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And stir it up.
Awesome. And then do you let it sit there for a while, or you just pour it right in?
I'm going to let it sit for a second while I wait for the milk to cool off enough.
Okay. Oh, does it go in with the milk? Is that how
it
works?
gets mixed with the milk. The milk and the yeast get added to the mixture at about the same time.
Ah, got it.
So you don't want the milk too hot because you don't want that to ruin the yeast, and you don't want this too hot because you don't want it to ruin the yeast, but you want it warm enough that the yeast wants to go to work. So we want all of that in there.
That goes right there.
And I want all of that skin.
Oh, really?
Yep. That is the goodness that makes that.
Is that like the sugars or something? Is
It kind of gives it that sour punch, actually. Like that little bite to the dough.
Oh, okay.
And then this goes in.
The yeast goes in, right?
Yep.
At the same time. And the yeast has been now activated? Is that what it's called?
All dissolved and activated.
Okay, cool. So that's in there. And now you just mix it up.
Nope. Now I add eggs.
Oh, but wait, there's eggs.
Which I'm using a plastic bowl, so that's difficult.
Okay, I will follow. Would you like me to crack the eggs?
No, I just want that one to not fall off the counter while I'm cracking this one.
Did you get a shell in there?
Nope, I did not. I managed to not.
Can I crack one with one hand? No?
There we go. There we go.
All right, so 2 eggs, that's all?
2 eggs, that's it.
Cool.
Now you're just gonna add 3 cups of flour. So 1, almost 2. That's about right. I would normally have done this with a dough hook.
Dough hook. But now what do you use? Just some knives?
I just use a couple knives so I can cut the shortening in.
Here's another RV trick for you. With no KitchenAid mixer, you use mussels.
You can use mussels. And for dough, butter knives. You don't have to go get a pastry blender and have another tool wandering around your limited drawer space. All I'm trying to do is break up that big glob of Crisco. I still have another 4 cups of flour to add to it.
Oh, so you're just getting rid of the Crisco and this stuff.
I'm getting the Crisco
Got it.
cut in, and then you slowly add your flour. If you add the flour all at once, you'll never get everything spread through the dough evenly.
Here's a pro tip for you. Do this first and then add flour.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, there it
lumps.
is, all mixed in, the Crisco, right?
Yeah, it's mostly good.
And so it's super, super, super liquidy. And now you add 4 more cups of flour, is that right?
Yes, but
Okay.
I add them one at a time.
One at a time? Oh, as you would add one and then mix? And,
Yep.
Okay. Now that all the Crisco is cut in, is that the phrase? Cut in? Liz is now switching over to a spatula that'll help stir all this together. And that's what, your second cup of flour?
No, this is number 5. Oh, yeah, second cup after the initial 3. So that
Sorry.
was number 5.
Sorry.
Don't
Don't want to mess you up.
Don't say random numbers right now.
Okay, so it just continues to thicken, right?
Yep.
With more flour. Does it get more difficult
Yeah,
as you...
it's very difficult.
Okay.
I'm sweating.
Oh yeah? Nice.
Yes.
Little workout in the kitchen.
It is. And this recipe takes 7 to 7.5 cups of flour.
Well, how do you know if it's 7 or...
And it depends on how the dough is behaving. This is the dough. So I'm gonna mix some of it here.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my hands in there and mix some of it, and then I'm gonna turn it out on the counter and mix and knead it for a little bit.
Okay. And this is like building up the glutens, right? Isn't that what Paul
I
Hollywood
think that's
says?
what it is. You don't want to work it too much because then you have a stiff, yucky dough.
Stiff, yucky dough. That's funny.
Yes, Paul Hollywood would give you some scientific explanation of you worked it too much.
How do you know when it's done though?
It changes in consistency, you'll see.
It just looks right?
It looks right. It's not flaky like this. It's smooth and like consistent throughout.
Can you snap your fingers at all? Look at that, with a snap of her fingers.
So, it took about 3 minutes to get it to this.
Well, I feel like it's done. What are you working on it now?
Well, right now I'm just forming it into a nice ball for the next step.
Okay. Cool.
And Nicole's smelling the flour container.
Does that smell good, Nicole? Yeah.
Okay, so next step is form it into a nice little bowl, which I just kind of tuck everything underneath.
Okay.
I'm trying to smell the flour.
Okay, Nicole, I need you to not be right there.
Watch out,
Mom
Mom's
needs
going
to be
that
there.
way. Where are you going, over to the
I
bowl?
need to go over here. I'm gonna wash my hands and then I'll get that. Now I need a warm place for the dough to rise. We're in a colder climate right now, so I'm gonna turn the oven on for a few minutes and heat that up and then turn it off.
So just like on low or something?
Yes.
So you're using that same bowl that you mixed the dough in after cleaning it off, obviously. And that is gonna go in the oven for the proving, yes?
Yes. Speaking of which, I need to turn the oven off.
Oh, okay.
So I don't melt.
You didn't set a timer?
My popsicle.
You just did it?
No, I just need it to be someplace warm. It needs to be about between 100 and 150 degrees. You take the dough, put it in the bowl,
Boom.
and butter the top of the dough.
See this on the shows, they put like a plastic bag over it. Is that the same thing?
And you don't want, you want a cloth more than a terry towel.
Oh, what about
You
plastic?
don't want the terry towel to stick.
Ah, got it. Okay, so there it goes in the preheated oven. Well, now turned off oven, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And you
it's
just leave it
still a
open?
little bit- it's a little warm, so I'm leaving it open.
Ah, so, okay, so this is your proving drawer, basically.
Yes, that's my proving drawer.
Cool. All right, and then what? How long?
I'm gonna set a timer for 99 minutes.
99 minutes.
I've discovered that because
That's very specific.
that was the most amount of time I could use on our microwave at home.
Oh.
You could set the timer for. It would be 99
Well, you know
minutes.
these iPhones now,
I know.
you can set for probably 1 billion minutes if you wanted to.
Yes, thank you. So, you might want to come see
Do I get to see?
Yes, see how much it's
wow.
risen.
Wow.
So, punching down the dough.
Boom. And there it goes. Look at that. So sad. And that's it?
It gets the extra air out. Cover it, put it back. Going back in for a half hour.
Half hour. Okay, cool.
Yes. This recipe came from my great grandma. As I've said, it's my dad's grandmother's recipe, and my dad's mom taught my mom how to make it, and she taught me. I've been making it since I was a kid, helping make it since I was a kid. When I was growing up, it wasn't necessarily Christmas. It was ski trip.
Oh.
And we would make, Mom would make lots of batches of cinnamon rolls, and we would take them up for our ski trip, which would usually be around President's Day weekend, so, you know, February-ish.
Cool.
And then as we got older, and were able to help make them more, then they kind of turned into a Christmas tradition. And probably when I was 16, 17, that's when we started making them for every Christmas. And since we've been married,
Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
Pretty much any chance we can get.
Yeah.
Anything we can make up to have some of these, we make that up.
Yeah.
Because, well, look at how much brown sugar is going into this.
2 pounds of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons. This is a half tablespoon measure.
Okay. Another way to save space in an RV, bring a half tablespoon measure.
No, I have a tablespoon measure. The half tablespoon measure is because the tablespoon measure won't fit inside this bottle.
Ah.
Just one fork gets it in there, gets it nice and mixed in, and it has the added benefit of eliminating any lumps in the brown sugar, because you don't want the brown sugar to be lumpy. You want it to be as smooth as possible.
Yeah, I can't stand lumpy brown sugar.
You know what, bub? I love you very much. We just had to move the sugar cinnamon mix over to a different bowl because
it was
it's
spilling
just
out of
hard
there,
to mix it and get it all.
So the brown sugar and the cinnamon get mixed up real good in here, right?
Yeah, which I like having it in a shallow dish because it makes it a lot easier when I'm assembling the cinnamon rolls, but I might try and just do it in this bowl today.
Oh, can I see that? So it re-rose back up after you punched it? Is that how it works?
Yep.
And then what happens? Then you just tilt it right, boom. Tilt it out. Nice.
I'll flour my rolling pin.
Nicole's very interested in this process.
Yep, so she's gonna stand right in front of you. I'm gonna cut it into strips. They wanna be about 1.5 inches wide by about 6 inches long so that you can properly shape them into the knots that they need to be in. 1.5 inches is about the width of this blade.
All right.
So just, you know, right about here.
Cool. You didn't use a ruler?
I didn't. I usually do.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
I would not admit that.
So what I'm doing today, I'm doing 2 9x13s of cinnamon rolls. You do about 15 rolls per pan. And the first step is to take cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it in the base of each pan.
Ooh. What does that do?
That makes a syrup on the bottom as you cook them, so when you bring them out and turn them over, the syrup drips down over and into the rolls.
Deliciousness.
This is the fun part.
All right.
I'm going to show you on an easy one because it's long and skinny.
Okay.
What to do. Dip it in your butter.
Okay. Now this is the part I always get confused. Then you put it in
The cinnamon sugar.
cinnamon sugar, and this is the hard part here.
You tie it in a very simple knot.
Simple.
So there, like a shoelace.
A shoelace, okay.
And then you take the end, tuck it under again.
Okay.
And the other end, bring it up and over. Like that.
Oh, and it makes like a knot.
And it makes a knot.
So it's a cinnamon knot.
Sure.
So, and then you just keep doing that, right?
Yep. Repeat. When you have strips that are shorter and fatter like these ones that I am just working on, they're a little bit more challenging to tie.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with stretching them. The dough will stretch, but if you stretch it too far, you'll rip it,
Ooh.
which is not the best.
No. So did you?
So
this
I
a fat
did.
one?
This
Let's see
is
what
a shorter, a little bit fat one.
These are harder to work
So the butter is warm.
with. Yeah.
And putting it in the warm butter,
Is it
it's
like cook it
easier
or
to, no, it's just easier to stretch it when it's warm.
Okay.
As the dough cools, it gets more brittle.
Okay.
So you don't want the dough sitting out and cooling off. You have,
to do this quickly.
You have to do this as soon as you pull it out of the oven and it's done
Okay.
rising.
What's your time on this? Maybe 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, about that. Sprinkle the top with more cinnamon sugar.
Mmm.
You're gonna let them rest for about 10 minutes before you put them in the oven. These
What,
ones are
you're
going to rise while I'm constructing those, and then
those
they'll go in.
That's
And
smart.
when these come out, those go in.
In fact, you can see as you've cut these have puffed up a little bit.
Yep, which I need to hurry and do this
Oh, sorry.
so that
Nice.
it
I like
doesn't
your.
get brittle.
I like the technique, the handless technique there. All right, there it is. Okay, so probably 10 minutes have gone by, so now we can put that other batch.
Yep, the other batch can go in. I have a baking stone that fits perfectly in the oven,
And what do you use that? Why?
and I'm using that just to even out the temperature on the base
Okay.
of the rack, and it fits. Happens to fit perfectly right there.
Nice.
And this batch is ready to go.
Oh, there it goes. So that was after 10 minutes of letting it rise.
Yep.
And then it's in the oven, and then wait, those rise. How long? So in the meantime, these guys rise.
Yep. And we've got 15 minutes for those to be in the oven, and those will switch. One of the most important things about cinnamon rolls is getting them out of the pan in one piece. And in order to do that, you pull them out and you invert them on foil immediately. Yep,
And
they look a little bit darker. Those are
awesome.
good.
There they are.
Those look good. These ones are going in.
So hold on. Before, after, delicious. Boom. And now what happens? You
I
broke
leave it there for like 5 minutes.
No, really? 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, you gotta let the syrup drip down over it.
Oh.
They're super, super hot. See this pan?
Yes.
You will want to throw this pan away unless, as soon as you pull it off the cinnamon rolls, you put it in the sink and fill it with water.
Otherwise-
And wash it immediately. Otherwise, this...
Concrete.
Yes. And you will be chipping it off a little tiny
So
bit
it's
at a
just,
time.
what is it? The
It's cinnamon sugar, and it's been baked and melted.
Is it gonna catch fire?
Yeah, that's not good. It's already
I
caught
can
fire.
smell it.
Yep. Caught fire. Don't do that.